Oh, cut that music off quick. Welcome to NFL Prop Picks powered by the Blitz on Covers. I'm Josh Ingles. He's Derek Carty, the mind behind the numbers. Seeing us here every primetime game through the NFL season. 2:15 on Wednesday for Thursday Night Football. Friday, 2:15 a.m. releases for everything over the weekend. Good day to everybody there in the chat. Good to see you again, my friend Derek. What do we got? We got some line movement. We got a big divisional game here. San Francisco, Seattle. San Fran, 3 to 3.5. This total is taking a lot of money, 46.5 to 49. I'm going to put you on the spot quickly. I know you love to hear that right out of the gate, something we haven't even rehearsed yet. In terms of, if you could pull up your pace of play numbers on how this game is supposed to go down in terms of play volume. I know Brock Purdy is absolutely slinging it. Seattle coming off maybe one of the worst performances of week 5, let's be honest. And San Francisco just shot themselves in the foot more than anything else. Outcomes similar, but I think San Francisco, the better side. And we're seeing that with the confidence on 3 to 3.5.
Yeah, in terms of pace, it projects kind of in the middle. San Fran plays really slow. Seattle plays really fast. So kind of will offset. We expect Seattle to be playing from behind a little bit. So yeah, we'll see. Not a whole lot to speculate from in terms of the pace.
Opening up the markets, looking at this game, was there a ton that was jumping out on you? Like, I haven't seen a ton in terms of the markets that we've been hitting in the past in terms of carries, receptions, quarterback carries. Those haven't really been popping to begin the year.
Yeah, there's not.
I mean, we're only talking about 3 games a week too when we talk about the entirety of it, right?
Yeah, exactly. This week in particular, there's not a ton popping yet, and a lot of the stuff that is popping is correlated. It's all kind of based on the same angle that we're gonna talk about in a couple minutes. So be aware if you're betting. Well, the one's correlated to what we're going to talk about. Realize it is kind of based on one thing.
Awesome. The Blitz doesn't do defensive props, right?
No, not yet.
How noisy and difficult is it or unpredictable our tackles?
I mean, it's probably super noisy, but there is probably some signal in there, and I can't imagine the books are setting very good lines for them. So even just doing a halfway decent job of them probably would be profitable, but I haven't had a chance to look at it.
Yes, and I know back in the days, Colts, some of the more generous scorekeeping teams in terms of like assisted tackles. Like, it's not a perfect science of grading an assisted tackle. Yeah. So there's lots of variance within that grading. So let's get right to it. We got to play and we got to lean. We're starting off at FanDuel. Let's go to quarterback props. Producer Mick says, listen to Yahtzee. Yahtzee says he likes to save producer Mick from AI. Nick Pervetta is, yes, up there on the golden. Geno Smith, interceptions. Let's go. Number there, 128. Geno under 0.5 interceptions plus 128. Let's be honest. If we had the Carr one, that throw was, and it was early, and there was nothing, and like even in trail mode for the entirety of the game, there wasn't anything like that drastic, but that throw, you're just like, oh, Derek Carr, you absolute blunder. That was not a professional throw from Derek Carr. Geno Smith in this spot. Yes, he's had a pick, but I'm sure it projects somewhere similar to Carr, where you have a pretty accurate quarterback who over the last all 5 games this year hasn't been profitable on the under, and I think they're overvaluing that.
Yeah, hasn't been profitable on the under this season since the start of last year at this line. I think he'd be a little bit profitable. Similar thing though. You know, he projects as about a 60% winner here. So a plus 128. This looks good. He's an accurate quarterback. And the thing I'm kind of banking on here is some of the coach speak coming to fruition this week. So if you don't follow Coach Speak Index on Twitter or his Discord, you should, because it's amazing. But basically, the Seahawks talked all offseason about how they wanted to run the ball. Then they came out week 1 and they ran the ball. Then Kenneth Walker got hurt and Charbonnet started, and they became super pass heavy. If you look at the total balance of everything this year, they've been, I think the Blitz has them as like the 4th most pass heavy offense in football, context adjusted and everything. So super pass heavy. But this week they've come out on 4 separate occasions and talked about how they need to run the ball. On the 6th, they said, we definitely need to get the run game going. We need to get Ken Walker the ball more. The next day, we all know we need to run the ball more. We have to create more situations where we can run it as well. The next day, we got to get the ball to Kenneth Walker more. We leaned on the wrong thing last game. If we had gotten Ken 10, 15 more touches, things look different. We're not running the ball as much, and so the play action isn't as believable. Establishing the run is critical to a lot of things. This sounds like a team that's going to run the ball this game.
Yeah. So where are your projections with Kenneth Walker on that side? I know is the value gone on Walker, and now you're just looking through play volume in general, pass volume, find it down, and then you see where Geno Smith will probably have lower pass attempts in this game.
Yeah, I actually didn't see a ton of Kenneth Walker props popping up. There's some small value on his overs, it looks like. I'm also being pretty conservative because like I said, Seattle, if I made no adjustments, they would project as the 4th most pass heavy team in football right now. About, I think, 8 or 9% above average. I manually kind of shaved them down to about 2% above average. So I still have them as a pass leaning team. It's very possible they come out and they're 10% below average or 15% below average, especially this first game where it's like top of mind, like we need to run the ball. They overcorrect a little bit. Like I might not be projecting them run heavy enough. But they have been super pass heavy this year. So I don't want to just automatically put them at the other end of the spectrum. A little bit of a hedge. So just with that in mind, this is showing more value on these passing props that even if they were to still be pass heavy, like they could still get there. Geno is still a good quarterback, with pretty good precision.
Just looking at the Kenneth Walker number, projected for 14.96 carries from the Blitz. And in the weekend, Beeman Large says playable at plus 114. Where's the buy point on Geno here?
Yeah, let me take a quick look.
Coaches love.
Yeah, I'm good at 114. You can play it down to 105, and I'm still probably fine on it. After that, it's maybe more lean territory.
Subjectively, looking at the situation that Seattle is in and dealing with that coach speak, coming off those 2 losses, coming off the Detroit game, coming off the Giants game, you would have to think that it's a more believable situation to follow through on that coach speak more so than, grounding out a win coming off the next week where it's like, oh crap, we were 3-0. We beat Skylar Thompson, Bo Nix first game, and Jacoby Brissett, and we were on cloud 9. We traveled across the country, got our doors blown off by the Lions. So it might be Mike Macdonald's first attempt to try to change something up and make that adjustment. And now you see with him, how does Coach Speak Index like Macdonald in terms of believability, which is for you, that must be one of the greatest things that they try to quantify.
It's fantastic. Macdonald, though, I mean, he's a new head coach this year. We don't have anything to go on, so he doesn't have a reliability rating. So we're kind of just hoping that we're taking him at his word and it's going to happen. So we'll see.
All right, let's go. We got Geno, no interception, plus 128 released there for the play. And then a lean. We're at Bet Rivers. Let's go to receiving props. Let's go to receptions. $125 in there. Let's go DK Metcalf under 4.5 receptions, plus 125 on the lean here. Metcalf under 4.5 receptions, plus 125. We did lose plus 126 that just kind of escaped us.
I think it was 128 at FanDuel, and then they
Oh,
moved to 120, which is still, fine. Like this is, I think there's some 125s out there. I think there's some 115s out there. They're all more or less the same. Like not quite strong enough to call this a play unless you really do have conviction that they're going to come out and they're going to run the ball a lot to start the game. Then this would pop up into play territory. But kind of being a little conservative with it, it shows value, not crazy value. I'm calling it a lean. But yeah, that plus 120, the plus 115, any of that looks fine. It's all based on the same angle, basically. Like I have nothing against DK Metcalf. But they have 3 good receivers to throw to. His target share is only like 22%. It's not like true alpha territory. And they might be running the ball a lot more this game.
Yes. So even in the efficiency in which they were passing earlier that you talked about, fewer targets in 3 of 5 and under this number in 3 of 5. If any step back within it, I think he only had 4 again last week. And that was in a game where they were chasing, right? Yeah. So,
I mean, and that could be a problem this week. Like they will probably be chasing late, especially if they try to run the ball early, which probably won't really change things for them. So that's kind of what we're hoping, is that we don't get a ton of garbage time stuff from Seattle. But either way, I still think this one looks good.
All right. We got Geno Smith under 4.5 receptions. Geno Smith. No, as I'm trying to do 2 things at once, type in Geno Smith because someone in the chat says you drop back 40 times, you're going to get creamed. Was trying to figure out, yeah. I mean, Geno Smith's dropbacks over the last few weeks have been pretty crazy, right? Like 56 dropbacks indoors in Detroit, right? So if that number stands out, indoor game, chasing, obviously. Giants threw 40 balls. And then in that Denver game where they were in control, 18 for 25. That's kind of where if you get 25 pass attempts from Geno Smith, regardless of outcome, that would make you happy, period, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Right? That's kind of where it is when you're betting on volume. Bet on the volume. Outcome sometimes sucks. But like it's the same thing with our pinch hits, right? Oh, he got a base hit with 2 at bats. The bet itself was on the plate appearances.
Yeah,
if that makes any sense for everybody there in the chat who also does all our baseball stuff too. Like you said, yeah, drop back 40 times. It's gonna get hurt. If you like the show, hit that like button, drop a comment, let us know what you're betting there. In terms of that, I haven't really looked at the books heavily within this game. Do know that I like the early lean on San Francisco -3, but that's gone. I think when you look back at how San Francisco lost, I think you'll see that, I mean, that Mason fumble, everything was in control. They were going to cover the 7.5, let alone not lose a game. They were going to cover the 7.5 and things fell apart. So I really think that Seattle's inflated on those early 3 games. So 3 points on the road, conference game or division game, short week. I get it. It's tough. But that total could be big. Brock Purdy, absolute slinging it. But let's see. Maybe Seattle. That'd be nice if they start just pounding the ball. I mean, it was only 2 weeks ago. Kenneth Walker wasn't in that lineup. So hopefully it's Kenneth Walker time. Control that clock.
Yeah, I'd be fine with that game script too, Milo.
It exists more times than I've seen. I think I've noticed, right? Like I make that joke every time I'm on with you. I'm like, I don't know if Josh Allen's played in the 4th quarter outside of game 1 and game 5. Because teams are yanking. Teams are yanking guys. I'll leave it on that great comment. Geno over 250 for Maurice Walker. There you go.
I'll probably take the other side of that one, but
there
again, it's all based on the one angle. So that's where all the projections are going to lean towards. So if you are using the blitz, you don't necessarily need to hit every single Seattle passing under because it's all kind of the same thing. Just keep that in mind when you're betting.
Yeah, no, I like it. Find the thing that's not priced in, lean into that angle. And that's what we got here with hopefully some running Seattle. So let's leave it at that. Geno under 0.5 interceptions, plus 128 a play. DK Metcalf under 4.5 catches, plus 125 a lean. I'm Josh Ingles. He's Derek Carty. This is NFL Prop Picks